spirit. Wild B, like, okay, now when people hear or think of Wild B, they think like Girls Gone Wild. But it's not that kind of wild. It's more like a free spirit, and I've been a free spirit since forever.
Mm-hmm.
So my best friend's mom, I call her Auntie Tanya, she noticed that right away. So she would call me Wild Beauty. And then as I got into music and I started growing up, it kind of just, Wild B.
Yes. Here for it. Do you see any of Wild B in your child?
That's a good question.
Is she?
Hell yeah. She's very opinionated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she got a mouth on her, y'all. She got a slick mouth.
Oh.
She's very intelligent, though. Yeah.
Yeah, she seems very confident.
Put me in my place.
Yeah, she left like a little voicemail for me around her birthday, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's like so confident. I love that. And like, it seems like she has a good, like, to be so young, like she has a good sense of her own identity.
And that's a beautiful thing to instill in young black girls. Confidence, self-awareness, so when she does go out into the world, people won't be able to pick her apart with their little bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That's lovely. I'm here for
it. And for her to understand those people that do pick you apart, what's wrong with them.
Right. That's another thing. The know-how to understand that you have to look at who is saying what they're saying so you can figure out why and you don't take it personally. That's a big thing that we have to all understand collectively that a lot of people don't.
She actually said something to me along the lines of something about she wants a lot of money, or what did you say? Something about a lot of money, or money can buy anything. I was like, no, it can't buy loyalty, love, or happiness. And she's like, well, Mom, you just got, that's what you said, right? Yeah. She was just like, well, Mom, if you just give it to people, they'll give it back. And I'm like, that's true. Right?
Oh.
For most of the time, it just be simple little stuff like that. It's like, most people will. I was like, but you just got to keep an eye out for people to take advantage of it.
Right. Because it's not guaranteed. It should be an equal exchange, but that's never guaranteed.
But by leading by example, you have a good shot.
Yeah, definitely. What is it like, though, on a day-to-day basis for Wild B? What's it like living wild? That should be a reality show.
Living wild. I like that. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Claim it.
Claim that.
So, a usual day-to-day is at homeschool. Well, Autumn, my daughter, it's a virtual thing. Mm-hmm. So she does homeschooling from about 8 to 11. I usually am up. My sleep schedule is crazy. I'm usually up till about 4 or 5, in the morning.
Oh my God.
Whether I'm doing writing, whether I'm doing some kind of like back-end business stuff or recording because I have a home studio.
Mm-hmm.
And she understands that. I have her breakfast ready to go, or she can make her own cereal and stuff in the morning. So from 8 to 11, my ass is asleep usually, unless I have vocal lessons or something. And then after that, we do some of her assignments. I've changed so that my vocal lessons could be after her little schooling and stuff on the computer because she likes to tag along. So I do my vocal lessons, and then I'll go to choreography, and then I will be back home writing or doing mommy duties again. If I have a networking event, I'll be going there. My schedule is really flexible, So my main thing is her right now. So my during the day is all her, and then my good friend Brittany helps me out with her. So if I have any networking stuff, or I have to go to other studios to record or events, I'm free to do that. And most of those are during the day or like from 6 to 11.
So you're not
wilding
out. You just wild.
Yeah, no. But it gets chaotic. Like when I have certain things coming up, like there'll be like weeks where I have shoots back to back. I actually gonna have trouble in high school, but I like chaos. Like having to do video shoots, interviews, and like when I go, I go.
Yeah.
Shit going off at once. Yes.
Yeah, like when this is downtime, but you ask me that in 3 months, I'm gonna be like, I was here in this city, and I love to bounce around. It's my favorite thing to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you have a strong male following. How would you describe your female fans?
Quiet.
Quiet?
Well, we know what that's like, don't we?
I do it like that. They started to come out the woodworks. They are. I would say that I don't know if when I would go out, I would say that I look mean. I was like, hey, so I don't know if it was intimidating or something like that, but if I start speaking to someone, I don't mind having a conversation at all, you know. So I would say that my close girlfriends that I've gotten over the year are like an image of me. They're all free spirited, all like go getters. Like I'm so proud of them. I had like a girl group called BAE, Boss Ass Entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. So they're outspoken. So if I would have to say like my female fan base, they quiet right now. They coming out little by little, you know. And now that I'm starting to engage more and talk more, you know, they're starting to come out. And I would definitely say that those are the kind of women that I attract.
Yeah.
By, you know, the ones that are around me right now.
So they're observant. So for any new Wild Bee fans and anyone listening, what would you say, you know, your female fans in particular could learn from you and watching you?
To not give a damn about what anybody says, you know, and to be a woman of your word, you know, and show these niggas how it's hard.
No, let it fly. It's fine.
Because like I can't stand a man not being a man of his word. You know, if you say you're gonna do something, back it up. I was like, okay, since y'all boys can't do it, I'll show you how to do it then. And I strive to be a woman of my word. If I say I'm gonna do something, you can take that check to the bank and cash it.
Okay,
today,
now.
early.
Here for
you know,
it.
so just being comfortable in your own skin, too, you know. If you want to, and I've been like this. It's not after I got the boob job, okay? I've been like this since I was literally, I can send y'all pictures, 5, 6 years old, walking around the house naked just because, you know what I'm saying?
Here for it.
Listen, I'm serious.
You're preaching to the choir.
My mom had a little boom box in the shower, next to the shower. Whitney Houston, I used to be singing and dancing like, well, girl. So I've always been really comfortable in just my own being, you know, and just being very spontaneous and just living in the now. And I live for memories, you know, even though I can't remember shit. But I really do live for like the hype right now. What can I do right now just to like take this all in, or, you know, really take advantage of what I'm at right now?
Right. No, we feel you.
1,000%.
We've been outspoken about some things, and we've had some women who were like, oh, you probably shouldn't have said that, or that's going to rub someone the wrong way. And then when they see that it becomes a conversation, then it's like, oh, yeah, I'm so glad that you guys like spoke up on that. So, yeah.
My thing is, if you're saying something from a place of love, and that's I always make sure I'm saying something from a place of love. Even if I'm giving you criticism, it's because I love you and I want to see you grow. I'm never saying nothing to anyone.
Right.
From a nasty place. Like, you're never going to get that from me unless you're a police officer. Harassing me. You know, other than that, it's always going to be out of place, out of love. And even that was a place out of love for my friend.
Yeah.
You know? So you're never going to. So.
That's great.
So explain something to us, because I've been watching you for a minute now. Are all of your fans considered the PERVS, or is that a special class of fans?
Listen, all right. So I went to New York, and I had to sit down with Gary V. And
Gary V?
Talking about Gary V, girl.
I love him. Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
He dove in my DM and he was like, "If there's anything I could ever do to help you, let me know." I was like, shit, can I get a sit down? He was like, okay, when are you coming to New York? So one of my girlfriends who was in the BAE group, she just had her grand opening at her gym. That was her goal for 2018. And then come January 2019, she signed the lease. And, you know, we're having the grand opening in February. So anyway, I ended up going for her grand opening, and I let them know that I was going to be there. And we had to sit down, and he was just saying, it came from your modeling, you know, and it's going to be really hard to transition, but you have to transition, and you have to do it every single day.
Right.
And he's like, you have to let them know, like, there's this elephant in the room, and we're going to address it. Okay, you guys are here for this, but this is what I'm doing now. So if you support me, love me, and want to grow with me, then, you know, this is what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. So I got that advice, and I kind of just put it in my own words, and that's where the whole perv and promote thing came from. I was like, look, I get it. We some perverts. We can do that, but if you're going to be my pervert, I'm going to need you to promote, too, you know.
Yeah,
I need
pay up.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it got people riled up. But my fans' names are my wild beauties and my beasts.
Okay.
But, you know, perv and promote is just like, you know, a call to action.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I love that. Perv and promote.
yeah.
Well, she's not just Wild Bee, the singer, the actress, the mommy. She's a visionary, because we had a conversation, the three of us, and you were talking about the Rock Nation brunch and how that was such a beautiful visual.
Yeah.
Just seeing all those black people, it was heavier on black men, you know, coming together. And you said something I had not thought about, because I'd seen the visuals posted everywhere. I saw a little bit of video Meek Mill shared and this person shared. You said I would love to see something like that in the future with women from our industry coming together and having like our own version of like the Rock Nation brunch.
Yeah.
Do you think that can happen?
I mean, there's gotta be, I think like the real thing would be unification on all fronts. Because those things do exist, but it's like in the church or in the sororities. There's cotillions for this and that. Like Oprah has her thing with her elite dinner of elite women.
There. Yeah. Those are examples.
Right.
You know?
But it's like, it would be amazing if we could just, I feel like for us it's always like there's separation. You know? There's like division.
I feel like there is, but I feel like that's changing. Because I feel like it's a lot more, I feel like we're going down that path, you know, because I see down my timeline, a lot of girls, we don't want to argue no more, you know what I'm saying? There are girls, I see a lot of girls that are still independent, you know, they still do like the love and hip hop stuff, and you know, that's their lane.
God.
So I've seen a lot of female rappers, The Stallion, Natalie Munch, Kash Doll, like everybody's like really getting tired of that, really getting tired of being put, you know, like that stigma on us, like, and even like the girl group that I have, like we say all the time, like, shit, if that's the case, then, I mean, who are we? We just some damn unicorns? Like, we can't be the only ones, you know? Like, I feel like we're going in that direction. Like, that narrative is being pushed of we can support each other and we can all be successful. I've been seeing a lot of different interviews from girls in the industry or entertainment industry that are saying they want to, you know, change stuff. They want to support because there's enough money for everybody. You know, we can all eat. We can all bounce each other's followings. You know,
billions of people in the world. So
I agree with what you guys are saying, but when I think back to that specific brunch and that specific moment, being honest, one of the things or two of the people that made it so powerful where you had these big heavy hitters, Jay-Z and Brother Love, Diddy.
Whatever.
And then you had the people under their wing. So the equivalent of that, I hope you're listening, Beyonce, would be like Beyonce, and then artists that she's taken under her wing, and then, you know, folks like us who are part of the media and part of entertainment. I think to your point, it is happening with like the Kash Dolls and you and Rico Nasty, one of my favorites, and some of the other Megan Thee Stallion, but the equivalent would be the power brokers there.
Absolutely.
And us all being in the same place.
Yeah. I hope to see that, because if it doesn't happen with them, we just gonna have to wait till we the heavy
pretty
hitter.
much.
Because when I'm the heavy hitter, it's gonna
see
happen,
you at the top.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I plan to get there. So if it got to start with me, it can start with me. But I hope that's not the case. I hope. Ooh, shoot. I got these notifications coming in. I hope one of them does it. I wonder if Beyonce would do that. She seems just very to herself. I don't know if she's protecting her energy or
always.
She was there.
But that's like, you know, she's just very. She's just so
reserved. Well,
you know what? I think she's kind of how you describe your female audience members. She does protect her energy, but she's super observant. Because if you heard the interview with Ryan Destiny, she was saying Beyonce just came up to her. She didn't even know she was around. And I've heard other similar stories. So it's like, I think she sits back and observes. Yeah, and then she's like, I like her. I like Wild Bee. And then she'll just pop up behind you and like tap you on the shoulder or something.
Right.
But she wants to make sure that you're worthy of that time and that energy.
But I mean, I feel like she's at a point where, and she knows the people. She has to know a handful of people who have good energy, you know. And for a year or two, I was kind of standoffish too because I wanted to protect my energy, but that's not. I don't feel like that's the best way. Yes, you have to be cautious, you know. But once I know that you good energy, I'm not going to continue to shelter myself away from you. If you already good, I know you good. All right, you know someone who's good. I trust your judgment. All right, you good. You know, we keep building, you know, and going from there. That's why I want to do a sleigh day at my house in Atlanta. Yeah, me and Autumn and Brittany has been talking about it, and just bring a bunch of girls around, and we just do makeup, have mimosas, shrimp and grits.
I like this.
just get pampered and get cute. And I already know my friends have good energy. Yeah. And, you know, I trust them, you know, and just kind of do it from there. I think it needs to happen. It's going to happen.
Man, I should have one, too. I like that.
Sleigh day.
Yeah, sleigh day.
What day?
I'm definitely down to do it at some point during the summer. I got a deck out here that I have yet to use, and I'm definitely down to come to Atlanta. Just anytime during the summer, really.
Period.
Okay.
Period.
Nixie this summer.
We had a mini sleigh day, our first one, like the early March, and I had a few friends that came over and just the feedback from them, because we were already going to do it in the house, you know. Yeah. Just, you know, me, and my best friend. But, you know, my friend, she told me she had been struggling with being censored. And she was like, man, this really helped. It felt like a self-love day where I just got to do whatever I wanted. You know, I did her makeup or whatever. She got to try different stuff, you know. Yeah. So I think it'll do something even more than just us bonding. It's going to, you know, you putting back into yourself.
Absolutely,
yeah.
You mentioned some ladies. So Megan Thee Stallion. Are there any other female hip-hop artists, either that's current or that you grew up listening to, that made a huge impact on who you are now or how you see yourself?
Hip-hop, Lauryn Hill is the first person that comes to mind.
I love her.
I love, oh my gosh, I love Lauryn Hill. I want to meet her. Erykah Badu. Does she count?
Yeah.
Erykah Badu? Yeah,
Erykah Badu was on the ones and twos at the BET Cypher.
Yeah. Them two are popping out to me just because it gives me flashbacks to my childhood. Like, my mom used to have to drive like an hour and a half to her soccer practice, and that's what we would listen to all the way down. I'm really, as far as now, I'm really feeling Kash Doll and her energy.
I do,
you know
yeah.
I don't feel like she's gotten that hit yet. She got bars,
right?
I'm rooting for her. I know it's gonna come.
You know what's funny?
Matter of time.
Some of the newer, like Rico Nasty, I've been on for a minute. I have not really listened to Kash. Listen to Block List. You would like that song.
Oh no, don't you?
I'm telling you, listen to Block List, because you'll be like, that fits you too.
Oh, I thought you was about to block me, girl.
No, we're doing a sleigh day. No, but Kash Doll, I've been watching her, you know, not listening to her music. And what you just said, I was like, it kind of makes me want to go listen to her now. I watched her behind the stage at the recent Meek Mill, her concert, and just the way she was interacting and that type of, I was like, oh, okay, I like her.
So fun, and her spirit is just so right, you know. That's the kind of person you want to be around. Another, you know.
Yeah.
I think she's dope. I think Cardi's doing her thing. I was raised a Nicki fan, you know.
She said I was raised a Nicki fan.
Back and forth about this. That's why I had to go to my sister. I was raised on Nicki, itty bitty pig.
Oh shit,
you know,
yeah.
I'm loyal, but
you don't have to choose sides. You do not have to choose
sides.
I don't want
to, but they making me feel some kind of
Girl,
way.
forget them. Because I grew up under Lil' Kim, and it took me a long time to listen to Nicki. And then it was like, okay, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. And then again, I started watching certain things about how people were, the men specifically, were doing her and how she was so outspoken. And I was like, oh, now I see why she had to be like that. And then Cardi, I watched her before she got on Love and Hip Hop. I was sending my friend in Orlando like clips of her. She's like, who is this girl? Because she was just so funny to me. And that doesn't mean we like everything that any of them do, but we don't got to pick a side.
Right.
I'm a fan of all three for different reasons.
I'm indifferent to all three.
See, and that's beautiful. Rap Child has a message. He said, you black women queens are strength of this world, and I thank y'all. for that. I'll stay tuned later, and God bless. Thank you, Rap Child.
Well, thank you, kind sir.
Rap Child 100, keeping it 100.
100. I felt that.
But no, what you said earlier about wanting to be around similar energy, the fact that you are so beautiful and you're also intelligent, and I know you have like a lot to say and a lot of knowledge when it comes to like the business side of things. Just share with our listeners how you maneuver being like smart and attractive, and like are there certain pitfalls people should look out for, or challenges that you face because of that? Hey, Scully.
All that. So I'm very bubbly, but on first impressions, or like when I go out somewhere, like Beyonce shit, I'm very observant to myself. I'll just be looking around. Most of the time I'd be in my own world just thinking about random retarded shit. But, I'll just be in my own world, just, but if someone sparks a conversation, I will speak. As far as business goes, I've always said I want to be the smoking gun. So I do my research. I won't talk about shit that I've not done my research on. So if I'm talking to you, I'm speaking facts.
Yo, she kills
the challenges I had, like even just moving to like Atlanta, like I have a following, so a lot of people will try to do favors, and stuff like that. And I've done like cross promotion or favors and stuff like that. But I was like, I'm doing everything. I'm paying for everything, so it's strictly business.
Right.
Sometimes you get favors from people, they be like, okay, I can try you this. Like, so I was like, nope, strictly business. I'm paying for this, blah, blah, blah. Nope, that's it. And I still get tried. It don't matter if you have, guys don't matter if you're spending money. You can break bread and they still gonna try you.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And I am very, very, I'm very sweet. I'm very positive, but I ain't afraid to check nobody. Especially if you disrespect me.
That's because she was born in Chicago. I'm going to tell y'all that right now. It's something from Chicago like...
Yeah.
Chicago
and I've gotten really good at checking you and being, and being nice about it.
I can relate.
Like I was trying, in a way, like I was telling my sister, I was like, yo, sis, you in Miami, I'm going to have Atlanta unlocked in a year. I need you to have Miami unlocked. I was like, you won't be going out with promoters because you're young. They don't want you to come out. Don't have sex with nobody. You can introduce friends that would like to.
Right.
That, but you don't have sex with nobody. You need to be the friend. You need to figure out what their goals are and really be friends with them. And if someone tries you, be like, look, I ain't like these other bitches. I'll slap you in your shit if you try me.
Not a common whore.
But, come on, let's go get a drink. Let's go get a drink since you tripping. Or maybe we shouldn't let you drink. You trying me. You know what I'm saying? But like playful, but I'll check. Yeah. Serious enough where you'll feel what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, I'll be like, look, it's all love, but you're not gonna talk to me like that.
Right.
You're not gonna do this. You're gonna have respect for me. Or
I feel like people would feel that because even if they're kind of shook in the moment, it's like, well, she's like for real.
And
because
how many people would say that?
Yeah, she obviously can't. When she says it's all love after she just checked me, it's real because she can't love me if she don't love herself and put those boundaries of respect around herself.
And I feel like guys they're gonna test you.
Oh,
they're
God.
gonna see how far they can get. You just gotta let them. You gotta nip it in the butt. If you don't nip it, you're gonna keep on getting tried. And I like to nip.
I like how you...
I told the guy...
No, go ahead.
I told the guy, look, I'm going to put you square in your face. He touched me. Yes! Smile straight like that. I was like, dead in the face. I grew up on boxing. I was punching.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, as I used to be so discouraged by this expression at one point, but you actually do have to teach people how to treat you. Like, it should be common sense. It should be common decency, but,
Ain't no common decency.
Especially, I was raised, my mom, like, as girls were raised to be seen, not heard, that bullshit, whatever. And, my mom is very conservative, Like, I was the black sheep because I'm not that. I'm completely opposite of that, So I went through a time, too, where I was uncomfortable, but I was more uncomfortable not speaking up,
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that if I feel something, I have to say it. And it's gotten me in trouble, but it's just, I cannot, even an ex-boyfriend of mine. I know y'all gonna do this. Like, I'm not gonna cuss him out. I'm not gonna say nothing.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
As soon as he comes in the door, listen, I know, you know.
All the time.
I just, yeah.
You have to like actively fight to, because sometimes it's like, you know, I'll be wanting to slap people.
We know.
And then I'm like,
that's not a secret.
Like, slap them and then what? You know, it's like, do I want to go to jail or do I want to go home for the evening?
But it's not worth it.
That's the thing. Like, I have to constantly, like, fight my impulses and basically my nature.
I work in an office, so don't even get me
you
started.
You can bounce a head off a cubicle.
About
it's okay.
Fighting impulses. Per my previous email, when you know what's going on in my head.
Oh my god.
But no, I like what you said. I don't know if it was in your stories or you made a video, but you was talking about your best friend and how he really is your best friend. Because I think somebody had insinuated that there must be something going on because your best friend is a guy. And I like the way you check them, you know, lovingly and explain that that's
it's
like...
so annoying. It's so annoying. Like, me and because I have a few guys who are, like, really good friends because I feel like any guy friend that I have, it's because I see certain qualities in them that give me hope for my future husband. Like, one of my best friends who I went through that incident with, he doesn't lie. He prides himself on being brutally honest, you know? And, like, I've heard him say, like, I'm like, oh, why don't you just say it? It's like, nope, I'm not gonna lie, can't do it, gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Because he's went through certain things that, you know, he doesn't want to have to lie, he don't want to have to put on the front for nobody, and that's just him doing it for himself. You know, so there's certain qualities in them that I have a level of respect for them that I would never cross those boundaries, you know? And I know they wouldn't because they hold me at a level of respect, or, you know, a certain level. So it's like, when someone says that, it's like, damn, like, why don't you feel like he can have enough respect for me, or vice versa, where we can't keep it just friends, you know,
because they don't have that respect for themselves.
Right, and every male-female relationship does not have to be sexual,
right?
You know, and I have plenty of guy friends that could back it up, you know. It's just so annoying. Like, I told them, and the thing is, when I go out with my guy friends, don't those guys be trying to talk to me? I'm like, come talk to me, boy.
But I have a question then. Because I noticed, like, a reoccurring thing for me is that a lot of well, I guess I do have some male friends, but a lot of the male friends that I do have, there was always that initial phase where it's like, listen, I'm the devil. You do not want to sign this contract and play with me. I'm a better friend to you. Like, how many of those friendships have you had to, like, at any point draw that line and let them know that you're not open to
60 to 70%?
That's less than I thought.
No, really?
Yeah.
I think you're being modest.
No, maybe they just didn't say anything.
Right.
They didn't try
or
it.
you just encountered some very rare, like you said, people that have those virtues that you can recognize where they didn't do that. Because, like,
one of my guy friends who told me, he was like, I wanted to bust down on you, but I know I ain't shit. I ain't shit right now, and I know I ain't want to. I'd rather keep you as a friend,
right?
And someday, perhaps I can be shit that's worthy of busting you down. Hey, I'm not mad at that.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I'm really good to my friends. I love my friends. I will. Any information that I get that I feel like it can help them, I'm gonna give you that information. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no crab with nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and I check my friends, and I like for my friends to check me too. Like, we're always feeding each other. You know? And that's. You don't get that from everybody, you know?
At all.
So, like, you don't want to mess it up. Like, why would you want to?
And you see, know? I feel like I struggle with that, and I feel like it's the same for you, and even you, where it's like, you know, you meet people, and you just want to be cool with them. You just want to appreciate them as they are. You're not seeking to gain anything, because you have, and you get things for yourself. It's just a matter of seeing and valuing someone as they are, but... It's like, I don't know.
I've been struggling with that because I was hiding behind a brand that I created, and everyone, even to this day, there's still a good chunk of my fan base that thinks I'm a man. And then I came out, you know, more on my personal page, which I had private for a long time. And so I'm so enthusiastic, and she knows this, I'm very much an idea person. So I would have these ideas, and then I'd already have like some type of back and forth with someone, and they'd be an artist or they'd be and it's a guy, and I'm like, hey, what about this? And then it would like stop. It was weird. It's like, as long as I was posting pictures or posting story, they would watch the story. Yeah. Sometimes they comment. Sometimes they go and like a whole bunch of pictures. But as soon as I wanted to talk, I wouldn't even consider it business at that point. I'm just bouncing an idea off of you.
Yeah.
It would stop. And I'm like, what the hell am I missing?
It's just really terrible.
Like, I'm just trying to have a conversation.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't do business how you should do business. Like even...
Like that
even
nigga
like
business we talked
about. Oh, God.
Like, I grew up on contracts. Like, my dad's an entrepreneur. Like, my papa is an entrepreneur. So I
love the contracts.
Going through things the right way. You know, a lot of people don't do business how you should do business.
Shiesty.
Yeah.
Or look at you like you crazy when you ask them to sign something. It's like...
Right. Now, if you don't want to do it, honey, we good. We can
right.
be done without you. You can't talk business. You just can't keep up. You ain't got the same vision as me. So I ain't lose nothing. Yeah, guys are weird about that.
Yeah. I'm just like, at this point, should I just have a third party go and like ask if they're interested? Because I don't feel comfortable.
No. Well, if you don't like to or you don't feel comfortable, I would say yes. But no, because you have value. So they don't have to come kiss the crown. That's it.
All right now.
Hashtag kiss the crown.
Kiss the crown.
Oh my God.
Ain't changing nothing.
Well, speaking of energy, the way Kimber and I met was definitely based on some vibe shit. And then when we connected, via email and we talked for the first time, it's like, I have my little tick and tie questions that I ask folks prior to them being on the show. And at some point, I'd say like 80% through the conversation, you were like, oh, you just have a really good vibe. And I was like, oh my God, you too. But what happens when you encounter people, whether it's professionally or like friends, friend of a friend, whatever, where it's kind of like you're trying because this person introduced you to them or because you kind of started the conversation that you start catching that negative vibe? Like, how do you handle that?
Bye.
You just cut them off completely?
I can't fake it. I can't. But like, vibes don't lie. No. I just can't. I'm at the point in my life where I can't have that kind of energy around me, you know? Like, because I've worked so hard to be, at a peace of mind, and just feel the way I feel. Nobody is worth that.
Yeah.
Like, so with love, you can go on your way. If something changes, people are growing.
Yeah.
I won't burn any bridges ever. I try not to, but, no, it's not worth my peace of mind. I don't care who you are, what you can do. If you've done it, it don't matter. In a weird space.
Yeah. And it's not always the right time.
Right. So, like I said, I'm not going to burn bridges or nothing, but if my blood don't take you, that's how I said, if my blood don't take you, no.
That's it.
Okay.
Very simple. The more we talk, the more I'm dying to know what the fuck your sign is.
Yes.
What the fuck is your sign?
Every time I tell people, they're like, oh, so
you're
gonna block me probably.
No, what's up?
It couldn't be worse than all the rising Scorpio shit between the two of us.
Like, my chart is ridiculous.
Aries, baby.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm here for it.
My dad is an Aries. So is my oldest. So is my crazy ass uncle. And they all have the same birthday tomorrow, believe it or not. So happy birthday to the three of y'all.
20th? What's the 21st?
Yep.
Mine's on Sunday, the 24th.
Happy birthday!
You better do something cute.
I always get along with Aries, but I think that's because Aries is my opposite sign. So while we do have moments where we want to like kill each other, it's never like we're going to actually kill each other. It's because we recognize that we are complete opposites.
Well, I'm a Sag with
2 fire signs.
Yeah. And, Fire Nation. That's it. Like, I love Aries.
Fire Nation, baby.
That's it. That's fucking it.
Are there any particular signs that you are partial to when it comes to friendships or dating or just everybody just gets a fair shot, or do you feel like you're more compatible with certain signs?
Who is like the worst? Like, what's your worst experience? That's what I always want to know, the worst of everything.
Irritates me the most is Taurus.
Oh yeah, Taurus are hard.
Adjacents are always hard.
Funny enough, at one point I literally had 7 Taurus in my life.
Oh.
My sister's a Taurus.
Wow.
One of my closest cousins is a Taurus. My guy best friend, one of my guy best friends is a Taurus. Did I say the guy I was dating at the time was a Taurus? There was literally like 7 Taurus around me, like close.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all of y'all getting on my damn nerves. You know, like they're irritating to me, but we're good as friends.
Yeah.
You know, we're good in doses.
Yeah.
Know?
They're
like,
loyal.
I irritate my sister. They are. I irritate my sister because I'm too, like, in her face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially her. Like, I love being in her face. But my female best friend, Dorian, who I grew up with, she is a Cancer.
Mm.
And she's sensitive, but a good kind of sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she can hang with you? That
She's
Aries tongue? Okay.
She's been with me for the longest, and we know how to deal with each other, you know. So, like, I don't know. It's like we're very compatible.
You have a good dynamic. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't think
and then I think they're the Scorpio, which is the devil. I think it's a Scorpio. Men. They done ruined my life a few times. Some Haitian Scorpio men will ruin your life.
Haitian Scorpio men.
Haitian
That's so
men.
specific.
First of all. Haitian men.
Oh my God.
Lord Jesus.
I wouldn't know.
They are delicious.
The antics.
They are dangerously
sinfully,
delicious.
delightfully crazy. It's like,
oh my gosh, I'm having flashbacks right now.
Yeah, no, we can't talk about that anymore.
I can't.
The sex is great though. Sorry, baby. Sorry. She said ew.
Well, I'm gonna help the guys out a little bit. Little subtle assist.
I've never been with a Scorpio woman before.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Scorpio women.
Oh, so you're like Whitney with the shits, like you're mixy like that, like you like what you've dated women as well. Okay.
I dated, but
you're like open to it.
She's like, define dating.
I've never found a woman that I could feel like be a girlfriend yet. It's
okay.
It's not happening. But I'm open to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild bee people. Wild bee.
What's the biggest compliment you've gotten, just bar none? Like, some people I've seen, especially women that are more like you, that are like that mix of intelligence and beauty, and they're like, the most, best compliment you can tell me is X versus saying how beautiful I am.
Mm-hmm. You're the most positive person I've ever met.
Oh.
I was like, damn, for real?
You're a beacon of light. I'm with that. That's a good compliment.
What about you, Kimber? Put you on the spot.
Oh. I mean, people say sweet things to me all the time. For me, it's definitely when my friends and I will randomly, even if I haven't spoken to them in months, I get a random drunk text. I love you so much. You're one of the truest friends I've ever had. Like, that exchange I value a lot. Mm-hmm. Between my 3 musketeers. And when someone tells me that they'll give me their soul, that's like,
okay.
So what kind of things you got going?
Right.
How you get that? Yeah.
I mean, in some cases, you gotta earn it. In some cases, you gotta earn it, and in other cases, it's offered to you. But you just gotta be on a wave, on a certain vibe.
Interesting. Wow. Interesting.
Well, okay, are you gonna tell us yours too, since you put everybody in the spot?
I mean,
right.
I would say from a friend perspective, what I normally get is that, I'm a calming, which I think is hilarious because I'm a spaz. If you've been around me, I'm like always in different, but people always tell me that. They're like, oh, you're such a calming presence. I'm being around you, I'm just able to feel calm. And I'm like, okay. And then on a broader scale, I guess.
It's that
More
soothing
like
voice, that
like,
Jill Scott-esque voice she got. It's that soothing voice, yeah.
But for me personally, the biggest compliment I get so excited. Like, I'm smiling right now just thinking about it. When I have a concept and someone's like, that's a dope-ass idea. Like, that is the best compliment. Because you're actually, like, listening to me. Yeah. But for me, as you know, as I just said, on social, it's a little bit difficult to get to that point. Because some of y'all just want to like and watch. And it's like, I have shit to say. I have ideas. I have things.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's not just my chi-chis, you know.
No, but sometimes it really is for a lot of people, and those are the kinds of people we need to avoid. Like, when I started posting like more art stuff, no one I never got as much response for my art, and it's not to say my art isn't fucking incredible.
It is.
But people were always more interested in looking at me. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm just like...
Same thing. I did this. I'm not on Facebook anymore. Yeah. But when I was on Facebook, I used to test that theory. I was like, let me say something about an issue that and I'll be very, you know, eloquent, whatever. You get a few likes, and then I post the next selfie, and it's like 3 times as many likes. And I'm like, what message like, I'm conscious, but what if I was like a young girl? Like, what message are you sending to me right now? You're basically saying, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no. That doesn't work for me.
But I wanted to talk about, we posted a little snippet of your song Con Man.
Oh gosh, we gonna talk about the Con Man?
I just want to understand the concept behind it, because first of all, your voice is amazing. People did not know you were coming on the show. I had posted it on my personal before we started promoting, and they were like, "Who is that?" And I'm like, "You'll find out. You'll find out. Just like stay tuned."
All the thirsties were in my DMs like, "Wow, Beto. Wow."